All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a bunch of news stuff for you, and the first thing I want to talk about is that the American stimulus package, while not really relevant too much to my international viewers, it does help the markets quite a bit, is unlikely to be passed before the election, which isn't really a surprise, but Trump promises the best stimulus package you've ever seen, which is something that Trump would obviously say. It's just, of course, it's the best. It's huge. It's everything is the best in his eyes. But that's if he gets reelected. However, I think if the other side gets elected as well, there will be a stimulus package either way, but a new stimulus bill containing a second stimulus check is not going to become law in the 6 days remaining before the November 3rd election, and that much is clear because both sides are arguing back and forth, and this would be really good for the markets overall, whether you're into the stock market or just getting some money into your pocket or the cryptocurrency market. This is going to help out quite a bit because now that the cryptocurrency market and the stock market are somewhat correlated with each other since pretty much 2020. During the collapse of the market at the beginning of the year with the announcement of the COVID shutdown of many different countries, the markets collapsed along with the crypto market just a little bit as well. And then once the stimulus package was released, the market slowly started to go up as well with the crypto market as well. So this is actually really good for any market. And a lot of the people that actually got this, Coinbase had actually tweeted during the first stimulus package that their number of $1,200 deposits, coincidentally enough, increased significantly. So this should help pour some additional money into various markets. The Democrats, they want a $2.2 trillion stimulus package, and the Republicans only want a $1.9 trillion stimulus package, which at this point, what is the difference? Not really that much, at least in the eyes of the regular person, but the battle goes back and forth, and it's clearly just so that if the Democrats release it now, then the Republicans look good, and so everybody's sort of waiting for the election to occur before this actually happens. The consequences of delayed COVID relief aid on the economy and struggling Americans concerns politicians and private citizens outside of Congress as the last remaining federal benefits reach their expiration date at the end of 2020. For example, the Federal Reserve has repeatedly urged Congress to pass more aid. Microsoft founder Bill Gates called the stimulus package the best opportunity to help the world access a COVID vaccine because he's all about those vaccines, which fair enough. And personal bankruptcies are expected to rise in the absence of stimulus aid and as a last-ditch effort for some people to hold on to their homes, as many people are being evicted regardless of the eviction ban going on right now. It's really hard for the average person to actually fight that ban. So what is the stimulus package going to look like? Nobody knows just yet. I've heard varying results, but I would imagine since Congress and the Senate, etc., don't have much imagination to them, as they never really do over the years, I would imagine it's going to be the same as the first one. It's probably going to be a $1,200 check per adult. You had to file your taxes in 2018 or something like that in order to get it, and then probably $500 per child as well. And once again, as I repeat, Coinbase reported many deposits of exactly $1,200 in a tweet during the first stimulus package, which should help Bitcoin quite a bit. Because as we can see, the Dow has dipped. It was a pretty bad day. It was like something like 900 points in a day. And as we can see here, if you just look at the chart, I have a 7-day chart and a 5-day chart on the Dow Jones, and Bitcoin has dumped along with it because the correlation is pretty strong anymore, particularly since Grayscale has bought $7.3 billion in Bitcoin, or actually just in cryptocurrencies in general, all of them. And there's many institutions coming in. And of course, they're going to use the same institutional fundamentals that they used in the stock market with cryptocurrency. It really just makes sense since they're not actually really physically correlated in any way, shape, or form. But when the institutions come, when in Rome sort of deal, So don't expect the stimulus package till well after the election. It's probably going to be about a 2 week. Once they actually pass it, it'll take about 2 weeks. And so, Trump says the best stimulus package you've ever seen. And I can just hear that in Trump voice, the best stimulus package, it's going to be huge, right? Everything's the best golden toilet, huge, right? But I would imagine if the Democrats win the election, it's going to pass just the same. So if you're just focused on the stimulus package, I would imagine it's going to be the exact same thing. And will help the stock market. If the stock market goes up, Bitcoin's probably going to go up as well, because we already have that super hype with the PayPal launch, Grayscale buying $7.3 billion worth of cryptocurrencies, Square coming in, all that sort of thing raised us to nearly the 2019 high. I think the 2019 high was just over 14K, and this reached about 13,800 and some odd. So Bitcoin doing really well at the moment, and has been above the 10,000 mark for quite a while now. In other news, crypto scammers defaced the Trump campaign website 1 week from elections. So one of the United States President Donald Trump's re-election campaign websites was briefly defaced yesterday. I like the wording of that. According to an October 28th article, hackers managed to replace DonaldJTrump.com's usual campaign rhetoric and request for donations with a spoof of the FBI's "this site has been seized" message. The unknown attackers claim to have obtained strictly classified information and encouraged people to essentially vote on whether they wanted the data to release by using payments to 2 Monero wallets. So it says, the world has had enough of the fake news spread daily by President Donald J. Trump. It is time to allow the world to know the truth. Multiple devices were compromised that gave full access to Trump and relatives' most internal and secret conversations. Strictly classified information is exposed, proving that the Trump government is involved in the origin of the coronavirus. We have evidence that completely discredits Mr. Trump as a president, proving his criminal involvement in cooperation with foreign actors manipulating the 2020 elections. The U.S. citizens have no choice. Today's the day the whole world can decide if they want to know the truth or not. So yes to share the data, and there is a Monero key in order to donate, and then do not share the data with a key, which I don't know why anybody would donate to this regardless, because there's been many hacks, looking for Monero and Bitcoin, etc., that have done something similar to this, tried to give away secret information, and it never really came to fruition. So I could see yes to share the data, because you might be curious. Don't actually do that. And then no, why would you give money to say no? I think that's really silly. It says after the deadline, we will compare the funds and execute the will of the world. In both cases, we'll inform you, and you can identify our key. So among the insider information reportedly on offer was evidence discrediting Trump as president and connecting his government to the origin of the coronavirus. There is no evidence to suggest that the individuals possess any such information. The website contained no sensitive data, according to Trump's campaign communications editor or director, who confirmed the attack in a tweet. It says earlier this morning, the Trump campaign website was defaced, and we are working with law enforcement authorities to investigate the source of the attack. There was no exposure to sensitive data, because none of it was actually stored on the website, and that the website has been restored. So good old Monero hackers at it again. I really doubt that they got any information, and I remember this numerous times as I've been doing crypto news for something like 3 years now, and I've probably done a good handful of these, maybe 5 or 6, and no good evidence or information was really ever released on these. It's really just to get some Monero, and I wish I could copy paste this, and I would look the address up to see if they actually had received any donations for this. Even if they did, sometimes they just throw some things in there anyway, just to make it look like other people were doing that as well. And it'd be hard to say if you could even find it anyway. But oh well. So moving on to additional news. So this isn't much news here, and yet it is at the same time. Certainly not an article in any way. It's just a cryptocurrency Reddit post, and so the consecutive daily closes above 10,000. This is the longest Bitcoin has been over 10,000. And I've been saying in the last videos that we've been seeing higher lows every year with Bitcoin. And so that means it's a pretty good investment when it only goes down to a certain level and then continues up every year. That's when it's a pretty good investment, in my opinion. So 62 days was, I believe, in 2017. And then after that, it was just 7 days, 9 days. This is the 2019 bull run when it went up to 14,000. It was 25 days, 28 days, and 19 days. And then a couple 5-day periods in there right after that. And now we've been in a period of 92 straight days at above 10,000. So go Bitcoin. So moving on, JP Morgan launches stablecoin and new blockchain subsidiary. So Jpm Coin, we've known about Jpm Coin since at least I think the beginning of 2019. And this is what I go to say when I talk about the corporate coin is coming. The corporate coin is coming, and it is. So we've started to see it a little bit, like some playing with it. I showed a picture of, I think it was Honey Nut Cheerios had like B coin or Hive coin or something like that, which is really merely not any kind of cryptocurrency or blockchain. It's just collect the coins, and then turn them in on our website for prizes or something like that. There's also currently, I believe, Pepsi coin. It's like Pep coin, and again, it's just one of those under the bottle cap sort of things that you collect the little keys that are under the bottle caps and things like that, and then turn them on the website for gear and prizes and whatnot. I really miss the times when you would open a pop bottle and it would either be a winner or a loser, and you could get a free one, and you could just go to the store and just get a free one and give them the bottle cap. And then they sort of did away with those. They're like, no, we're losing too much money on that. Let's make them go to our website. And then I never really participated in those after that. So we've known about Jpm Coin for a while, but they were only using it internally. They've yet to do until this point do any kind of actual transactions with outside business, and now they have. And this is what I mean, especially in regards to XRP, because there are a lot of XRP fans out there in the world, and there's nothing I would love more than to see XRP go through the roof and everybody make money. I don't want to FUD on XRP. I don't really want to, see anybody lose money. But here's the exact thing that we're looking at. XRP is supposed to, connect with banks and use banking and, sort of navigate around the current old SWIFT system, if you will. And here's what's really going to happen. Nobody needs to pay XRP to do this, in the same way that Walmart doesn't need to accept Bitcoin. They already make $1 trillion a year. It would just be costly for them to do that. Why not just make your own coin and have people come to you, in the same way that Walmart has a gift card? If you were to get Walmart coin, which doesn't exist yet, but probably, that you would be able to load it onto a card and give it to other people, and it would be an internal system only, so therefore you would have to use it at Walmart. There's no reason for Walmart to accept Bitcoin, because they would have to partner with BitPay and pay them. They would have to have separate accounting. It would be slow. People would be using it at the registers. And there's no reason. So banks can just go, hey, we're just going to make our own fake coin. All we need to do is just make a coin that says, yes, we're going to pay you $1 per coin, and then be able to send it around. So JP Morgan stablecoin will be used in commercial transactions for the first time this week, according to the global head of wholesale payments. He did not reveal which company is using JPM, only that a large technology client is using the stablecoin. They originally announced its stablecoin in February 2019, but the bank was only using the coin for internal transactions. However, it did not indicate that the coin was being fully used in commercial situations until now. So they announced that JP Morgan's new subsidiary Onyx, which serves as a business for its blockchain products. He added that Onyx is meant to commercialize JP Morgan's earlier blockchain work. The firm's effort are moving from research to development to something that can become a real business. Onyx currently handles JP Morgan's interbank information network. The blockchain product is intended for use in regulatory compliance, account management, payment digitization. It could be used to remediate banking errors or eliminate paper checks. For example, in other words, the platform primarily handles banking related information. So it's basically a coin that is worth $1. It's sort of a stable coin, just only meant to be $1 or any fiat currency. And then if they send you 1,000,000 of them, they can essentially bypass the SWIFT system, which is going to save them a lot of money. So it's honestly a genius idea. Not that it's going to affect any of us, but it just goes to show that these major banks, they don't need to use XRP, they don't need to use they don't need to use Bitcoin, Ethereum, or anything like that. They can just make their own coin. Now, I believe that Ethereum in the future will end up having a lot of partnerships. Maybe one day Microsoft Windows will come loaded with Ethereum compatibility during Ethereum 2.0 when the transactions are higher, so you can start to use blockchain. There'll probably be a lot of partnerships, in particular probably with Ethereum. However, with these banks, they can just create their own coin. They don't need to partner with anybody. They don't need to rely on the blockchain. They don't need to rely on stable coins. They don't need to rely on the price going up and down in a non-investment opportunity like that. They're just going to create their own coin and then send it to you. You're going to have, and then that JP Morgan coin is essentially as good as $1. And then they can bypass and save a lot of money. So it's really no surprise that a lot of these, banks and stuff like that are just going to make their own coin. So moving on to CoinMarketCap here. That's all we have for today. The market looking pretty good. A little bit of downfall today. However, I consider that to become, because of the stock market and its correlation. The Dow Jones is down to 26,519. You can take a look at the NASDAQ or the S&P 500. Everything's down right now for one reason or another. And with it comes Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is starting to rise back up now. But if you just look at the 1 day or the 7 day chart, you can really see that dump. And it was on the same day, on the 28th here, we can see the Dow going down, and on the 28th we can see Bitcoin going down from 700 to 13,200 now. So really only a loss of something like $500 from our high recently. But it just goes to show how correlated it really is. Now, it's not exact completely. It's not a 1-for-1 or anything like that. But we can see whenever the stock market takes a big hit, crypto is starting to take a big hit now. And for many, many years, up until, I would honestly want to say 2020, you could argue a little bit before that, but up until 2020, that was not the case. If the stock market was going up, Bitcoin was not necessarily going up. And now it really is. And I really blame that on the institutions. And that could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. Maybe it's just a new indicator for us all to use. But that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share the video. Helps me out a lot. My social media in the description below. Give me a follow on those if you get the opportunity to do so. And as usual, I'll see you guys next time.